Warner Brothers' attempt to create a rival to the MCU in the DCEU has pretty much failed at every step. Along the way, the Snyderverse just didn't catch on. It was a little bit too dark. The Justice League movie was far too rushed. Batman versus Superman was a big letdown. And they just haven't been able to get this shared, connected universe together. And just when you think things couldn't get any worse, some details or rumors start coming out about what they're actually planning for the next iteration of the DCEU. Most of these came from Grace Randolph's Twitter feed, who's obviously known for breaking a lot of movie news and whatnot. So this is how the first tweet goes, and there's a series of 3 of them, and I'll kind of break them all down. As I told you with an update, The Flash, Batfleck's final appearance, old footage of Cavill used on TV, new Justice League form, Supergirl is the new Superman, Keaton working with Black Canary picks Batgirl as the new Batman. This is the new DCU. Let's be open-minded and give it a fair shot. So apparently the Flash movie will feature the final appearance of Ben Affleck as Batman, as well as they'll reuse some footage of Henry Cavill, and it will establish a new Justice League. Why are they establishing a new Justice League without core members of the team to begin with? They haven't established a Justice League yet. If you want to have a Justice League, there are some key components. One of them is a Superman. One of them is a Batman. One of them's a Wonder Woman, one of them's a Green Lantern, one of them's a Flash, and the other one's an Aquaman. And then there are a couple of other members that you can throw in there that are key, like maybe a Cyborg, perhaps, although that character certainly came in much later. A Green Arrow certainly would be much more exciting, and I'll get to that here in a few minutes. So they haven't got the Justice League right to begin with, but now we're going to form a new Justice League with variant members of the team that aren't actually A-list members of the team to begin with. So that doesn't make any sense. Supergirl is the new Superman. I hate to break this to everybody. Supergirl and Superman are 2 different characters. Supergirl isn't Superman. She's never been able to replace Superman as that aspirational hero in the DC Comics universe, and it certainly won't happen in the film universe. This is, I don't know, it's a pipe dream. I know some people will say, well, the MCU's doing this. They've gotten rid of Iron Man and Captain America. They've replaced these characters. But they had like 7-year, 8-year track record of success. They made billions upon billions of dollars. Audiences worldwide were satisfied with the product that they had. And so they can take some chances like this and go and replace characters and see what works and what doesn't work. The DCEU hasn't gotten a winning formula yet. So to start replacing a Superman, and certainly it says Keaton's working with Black Canary. Nothing wrong with that. That kind of makes some sense. And picks Batgirl as the new Batman. Barbara Gordon isn't a replacement for Bruce Wayne. In fact, they've tried to replace Bruce Wayne in the comic books a few times. I think it's been successful to a degree, sometimes more than others, but it's normally been with like Dick Grayson. Or the other big change that I think people enjoyed was Azrael, but Azrael was meant to be positioned as a character that showed the failings in the Batman cowl and why Bruce Wayne is the perfect Batman. Batgirl isn't Batman, and it's not a replacement for Batman. It's beyond ridiculous. And to replace these characters before they've ever established anything that works yet is just DC Films, Warner Brothers, putting the cart before the horse. They're acting like they've had this tremendous slate of interconnected films that have been really successful that audiences really were drawn to, and they've seen this huge epic style storytelling that they've completely invested in, and they're willing to give Warner Brothers and DC Films the benefit of a doubt. I don't think that's the case right now. And that's the third part of what Grace Randolph says. This is the new DC. Let's be open-minded and give it a fair shot. Why would I give this a fair shot? The DCEU, Warner Brothers, DC Films have given me no reason to give the DCEU a fair shot for anything. Even if they brought back their version of Superman and Batman and tried to do it again, I would have to come in exceptionally skeptical on day one, because they haven't proven that they can actually do anything comparable to what Disney and Marvel Studios have done with the MCU, where they were able to introduce several characters, none of them A-listers, by the way, none of them A-listers like a Batman, a Superman, or even a Wonder Woman. The A-listers over at Marvel are like Spider-Man and Wolverine. Those characters didn't belong to Marvel Studios, and they were able to take the pieces that were left, elevate them, and make a wonderful shared connected universe, obviously culminating in the Avengers, culminating again in Civil War. We'll skip Age of Ultron. That wasn't very good. But then Endgame, now with Spider-Man No Way Home. Every time an enormous success. When have they created a film within the DCEU that was interconnected with one of their main superstar characters that felt satisfying? Perhaps the Man of Steel, because it was the first time you got to see these characters. I think a lot of people on retrospect, kind of feel the way I did coming out of that was a pretty decent beginning origin story for the Injustice movie, but not exactly Superman within the DC universe. You don't have to be open-minded about anything, especially when the company doing it has a record of dropping the ball over and over and over again. How do you mess up a Justice League movie? How do you not deliver a Batman versus Superman film that gets people excited and not mocking the film and rolling their eyes going, Martha, why would you say that name? Just some of the stupidest moments in comic book movie history. When you have a budget of that magnitude with stars of that magnitude, and then you fail to deliver, anyone expecting fans to come in here and give them a fair shot or come in with an open mind, what are they smoking? No one's going to give any of this a fair shot. No one's going to come in with an open mind. That's why you can't do changes like replacing Superman with Supergirl or replacing Batman with Batgirl. It's absolutely ridiculous. If they wanted to do something to get people excited, I don't know, have some set photos where all of a sudden you've got Stephen Amell with a twirly mustache where it looks like perhaps he's bringing his Green Arrow character from the CW Arrowverse into the DCEU. That's a change that probably would get people excited. A character that, generally speaking, people have liked over the years, well played, and there's an actor completely associated with him. Throw him in there. Or perhaps a set photo of Grant Gustafson in a Flash costume that doesn't look anything like Ezra Miller's. Perhaps they're going to replace the Flash, or at least he's going to make an appearance, and there's the hope that there would be a good version of Barry Allen within the DCEU. They whiffed hard on the Ezra Miller Barry Allen casting. That was one of the weirdest choices I've ever seen. Barry Allen is a lot of things, but like a twitchy doofus is not one of them. Grant Gustafson would be a much better choice to bring into the DCEU. Now, there have been a couple successes. I cannot deny that. Wonder Woman was a huge success, but the sequel absolutely sucked. Aquaman was a huge success, but can Aquaman lead the Justice League? No. The character does not carry the cachet to lead the Justice League. If you put Aquaman next to a Superman-like character and they're going to follow Aquaman, it's going to be ridiculous. It wouldn't play out correct. I personally think the Shazam movie has been the best thing about the DCEU so far, not really connected to anything within the DCEU. That's probably why it felt so nice that you didn't have to think about all the other crap that's been in there. We obviously have the sequel up there. No one's talking about the Shazam movie. Perhaps they're expecting Black Adam, because you have the star power of The Rock, to perhaps outshine that, and they could bring in a Black Adam character, perhaps as a Superman-like character. They do have kind of similar power sets, I guess, but not really the same. But there are things that they could do, that they could tease or even announce, that would get people excited and not rolling their eyes. Supergirl replacing Superman ain't one of them. Batgirl replacing Batman certainly isn't one of them. And Grace Randolph did go on to have a couple more tweets. The next one was the Keaton Black Canary Batgirl stuff obviously happens in her movie, to clarify, the Batgirl movie. Who cares? They have a Batman movie coming out, but it's never going to be connected to the DCEU. Why not use this Flash thing to incorporate this Batman, if it's successful, in there? And hey, if you got to replace Ben Affleck, you already have a Batman you've put in hundreds of millions of dollars into. If people like it, why ruin a good thing? Why are they making this so confusing? You have a Joker that made $1 billion. Why isn't he going to be the Joker in the DCEU? Does Joaquin Phoenix not want to do it? And me personally, I'm a fan of Barbara Gordon. I hope the movie's good and it does well, and it's certainly not going to happen on the big screen when they haven't put out a proper Justice League movie yet. It's absolutely crazy. Now, there's another tweet from Grace Randolph, and this definitely spells out more how she feels about this. Clearly frustrated. It's absolutely no fun to cover all these upcoming DC movies from a hateful perspective. It's just too draining. So yeah, to give you my perspective, I'm going to try my best to soldier on. I'm not paid by DC Comics. I'm not paid by DC Films, and I'm not paid by Warner Brothers. I don't have to soldier on for shit. If I see something that looks like crap, I'm going to call it out. And this absolutely, if it turns out to be correct, is crap. No one should be excited about any of this. And Warner Brothers should know coming in that this is destined to fail. But at this point, what do Warner Brothers do with the DC universe? They have a hit here and there, and it's mostly failure. Hell, we never even got the Ben Affleck Batman film. Ben Affleck was a good Batman. I guarantee you Henry Cavill could be a good Superman if they didn't go to like Red Sun as the inspiration for the character. They actually went to a Superman story, you know, where he believes in truth, justice, and American way, and he's an aspirational hero and not a sad sack that kind of wishes the world would die and is just mopey all the time. Now, there was another tweet out there, and I don't get this either. This is from My Time to Shine Hello. I don't know that this is a legitimate source, but they say they know some information. In fact, there's a message from Ezra Miller that follows this up that almost kind of confirms it. I'm not going to talk about the Ezra Miller stuff in detail because he's kind of a moron, but this is what My Time to Shine Hello said on social media. I don't usually tweet about DC stuff, but I have a friend who has seen The Flash, and the movie will erase every movie Snyder has done. Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League never happened now. Erased from continuity. Affleck and Cavill are both gone. Who cares? Why are they getting rid of the Snyderverse stuff? They should be doing everything they can to solidify what the DCEU is. What makes it special? What separates it from all the other shared universes out there? What elevates it to be more important than the MCU? Because I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? Why are they taking the time and energy to wipe out anything? Why would you take a movie to go out there and wipe out aspects that are actually kind of successful? I can tell you right now, if you had a Henry Cavill Superman who actually really liked Superman, a Ben Affleck Batman who kind of act like the Ben Affleck Batman you have in the Snyderverse, a Jason Momoa Aquaman, a Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, a Grant Gustafson Flash, and a Stephen Amell Green Arrow, you have yourself one pretty exciting Justice League team. You could use the Flash movie to streamline these things and bring them all into one area. We just seen the MCU do this. It was actually quite successful. Why wipe any of this stuff out? At this point, they don't have enough things working to be wiping stuff out. And that's not even to forget the fact that there's another Batman universe that has a Batman movie and spin-off TV shows that aren't connected to any of this stuff. I am not coming into any of this with an open mind. I personally am coming into all of this exceptionally cynical because Warner Brothers, DC Films, and the absolute cluster that's been going on there with their DCEU has given me no reason to go in otherwise. I do want to talk about some exciting stuff about comic book movies, so I should have my spoiler review of Spider-Man No Way Home soon. And DC needs to go see that film, talk to people that saw the film and were excited and pleased by the outcome, because they did some multiversal stuff there, which it sounds like they're trying to do in The Flash, and they were exceptionally successful with it. They need to go talk to the customers that were happy and find out what made them happy. Why did this work for you? What could we do with what we have that could be successful, with a twist on this that obviously is our own? But it really does appear the DCEU, which is already pretty much irrelevant at this point, is just headed for further irrelevance. Supergirl replacing Superman, Batgirl replacing Batman. The only people that push for these kind of changes, they don't care about these characters. They care about taking the characters and destroying them in the name of probably feminism or whatever, equality. But in the end, they have no skin in the game. They don't care if it works or not. They just want it to happen so they can say that they did it. In the past, that has never been a recipe for success. And right now, that is not a recipe for success. But at this point, Warner Brothers and the DCEU have no recipe for success. So once again, they're going to fail, but this time even harder. You can't make stuff up. I imagine most of you came here for the DC movie news, but they're doing a lot of the same stuff within the comic books as well. If you're not really familiar with that, I did make this video a few months back, kind of talking about all the changes they're doing within the DC Comics universe. And it's even crazier there. So if you haven't checked this out, I recommend this. I think you'll probably like it.